The Steelers' quarterback picture looks like a ticking clock, and that's why Garrett Nussmeier is suddenly part of the conversation for Pittsburgh's future. At 41, Aaron Rodgers is the present, but not guaranteed to be the future. Behind him, the cupboard isn't exactly overflowing with long-term answers. Mason Rudolph is a veteran backup and 2025 sixth-round pick. Will Howard is still a project. That uncertainty, combined with the realistic possibility Rodgers walks away or declines in 2026, makes drafting a quarterback next spring a sensible contingency plan. Enter Nussmeier. What Nussmeier brings is a blend of polish, processing, and production that appeals to teams looking for a relatively safe developmental prospect. Over 5 seasons at LSU, he totaled roughly 6,700 passing yards and 51 total TDs, and his 2024 season, 4,052 yards, 29 TDs, 12 INTs, put him squarely on scouts' radars. Early 2025 numbers, completing nearly 69% of his passes through 4 games with 6 TDs and 2 picks, only reinforce the narrative that he's an accurate, cerebral passer who understands pro-style concepts. Those traits line up with what Pittsburgh might prioritize. The Steelers historically prize game intelligence, pre-snap processing, and clean decision-making, areas where a coach's son with high football IQ can thrive. Nussmeier isn't going to wow scouts with elite arm strength or off-the-charts athleticism. He's more the kind of player who wins with feel, timing, and anticipation. That can make him a comfortable day 1 to 2 option for a team that wants a quarterback who can assimilate into a schemed, collaborative offense. But there are legitimate caveats. Evaluators describe his arm as above average at best, and he's had stretches of lapses in accuracy and timing, the sort of things that can be magnified at the NFL level if the supporting cast or play calling doesn't accentuate his strengths. He's also not the most physically imposing quarterback. At about 6'2", he's adequate but not prototypical in size. The concern is whether he'll make the occasional costly decision under pressure or when forced out of structure. Coaching and schematic fit will be decisive. So would the Steelers pick him? It depends on how the 2026 class shakes out and where Pittsburgh stands draft-wise. If Nussmeier lands in the mid-first range in scouts' boards, he's the type of QB a team like the Steelers could view as a smart pick, someone who needs polish but has a high floor. If he slides, he becomes tempting as a mid-round developmental add with starter upside. Bottom line, Nussmeier isn't a ceiling-shattering prospect, but he's a logical, low-variance profile for a franchise that values processing and coachability. With Rodgers' long-term future uncertain, the Steelers would be prudent to have a plan, and Garrett Nussmeier checks enough boxes to be a serious candidate for that plan.